At the end of Act 1, everything appears to be back to normal. The conflict has been resolved, the younger son has been forgiven by the father. The family's reunited, right? Not exactly. There's one more character in this story we haven't met yet. He has not yet learned that the lost son has been found. Now, almost always when people think of this story, it's all about Act 1. The younger son, his coming home, the father's acceptance. And as a result, almost everyone thinks of this story in the most sentimental terms. We imagine the original listeners hearing this marvelous story of forgiveness and their eyes welling up with tears. But if you look at the context, if you look at the people Jesus was speaking to, if you look at Jesus' purposes in telling this parable, you'll realize that the original listeners were not wiping away tears from their eyes. They were thunderstruck. They were offended because Jesus' purpose in telling this parable was not to give us a sentimental message that somehow God will accept us no matter what we do. He is here to say basically this, that everything you've ever heard and everything you've ever thought about how to approach God is wrong. The story continues in Act 2, when a new conflict arises as the father throws a feast. So Jesus continues. The older brother was in the field, and when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called a servant and asked him what was going on. And the servant replied, "Your brother is come, and your father has killed the fattened calf for him, because he has him back safe." But the elder brother was furious. He was so angry that he refused to go in and join the feast. It was his turn now to assault the integrity of the family. He was saying by not going in, "I will not be part of this family. I will not. I'm the heir, and I don't want to be in the same family with him in it." This forced the father to come out and plead with the elder brother. But he won't come. He's abrasive to the father. He says, "Look." Notice he doesn't call him father, he says, "Look, all these years I've been good. I've never disobeyed you. And when this son of yours that squandered your property comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. I will not come in." Notice he doesn't say, "My brother." He doesn't even say, "Your son." He says, "This son of yours." He will not acknowledge being in the same family with him. Now, the elder brother's furious, but he's particularly upset about the cost. You see, in those days, people did not eat meat at a meal. They didn't because it was so expensive. It was a great delicacy. But the most expensive delicacy of all was the fattened calf. And it was not the sort of thing you would do even for a private party. So when the father kills the fattened calf, we know that meant that the entire village would have been at that costly feast. But the elder brother is too furious to go in. Now, you don't need a PhD in psychology, if you're the elder brother, to realize that this was the greatest day in the father's life. In fact, the father, by killing the fattened calf and inviting the entire village to this feast, is showing that this is the greatest day in the father's life. Anybody can see that. The elder brother certainly sees that. But it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care. All he sees is that the father is using his inheritance in a way that he doesn't approve of. So what does this elder brother care for? What does he really care about? He cares about the father's things. But he doesn't really care about the father. He cares about the estate. He cares about the expense of all this. He's worried about the fattened calf. And he says, why couldn't it have just been a goat? He cares for the Father's things, but he doesn't care about the Father's heart. You see, when the Father went out to plead with the elder brother, he says, my son, you're always with me, and everything I have is yours. And that's the literal truth. Because when he divided his property between them, the younger son took his share, and now it's gone. And every single thing now that the Father owns, the elder brother will inherit. He's the only heir. It's all his. And all he can see is his share diminishing as a result of the younger brother's return. So he's furious, and he's humiliating the father on the greatest day of his life. And he's making the poor father come out of his great feast and argue with him. But how does the father respond? Again, he responds tenderly, and he says, my son, I still want you in the feast. And just as we're on the edge of our seats, just as we're asking the questions, how will the elder brother respond? And will the family be reunited in love? And will they all come together at the end? Jesus just ends the parable. He never tells us. Cliffhanger. Why? What is Jesus trying to get across? Much of the brilliance of Jesus' story lies in that, in the first act, we get a very traditional depiction of sin. You look at the younger brother and you say, yep, there it is, insulting the father, lover of prostitutes, down in the pigsty, down in the gutter, dissolute, licentious, self-indulgent. Yep, I recognize that. That's sin. But when you get to the end of the second act, Jesus has completely turned the tables. Here's what you see. You have two sons, one good, one bad, but they've both been alienated from the Father. And you come to realize they both want the Father's things, but not the Father. They've both been using the Father to get the things they really love, which is the wealth and the status. But one has been doing it by being very, very bad, and the other has been doing it by being very, very good. See, why does the older brother not go into the feast? He tells you. He says it. He says, I have never disobeyed you. There it is. That's the reason I'm mad. That's the reason why I'm not going into the feast. In other words, the thing that is keeping him from the Father is not his sin, it's his goodness. It's his righteousness. The younger brother was trying to get control by leaving and disobeying. But the elder brother was trying to get control by staying and obeying. The younger brother was trying to get control of the Father's things by breaking all the rules. But the elder brother was trying to get control of the Father's things by keeping all the rules. And Jesus is showing us that they're both lost. They both are without a relationship to the Father. They're both alienated from the Father, and they're both alienated from God.